Welcome to I Drink, Therefore I Am, a think tank media podcast, hosted by international spirits educator and whiskey ambassador, Martin C. Duffy. Each episode, Marty sits down with distillers, brand builders, and industry insiders to talk about the craft, the culture, and the business behind the spirits world. Pour yourself something appropriate, and let's get into it.
Hi, everybody. Martin Duffy, your Crystal King of Chicago from Glencairn. Hello. And this is I Drink, Therefore I Am, where we discuss the drink industry, the adult drink industry. And I don't mean that like in pornos. So get your mind out of the gutter. However, I don't know. We might discussing this topic. You never know where it'll go. And today's guest is Troy Bolotnick with Filmland Spirits. This is really intriguing. Would it be fair to say, Troy, these are film-inspired blends, or just that you give each one kind of a theme?
Well, it's a little yes and yes. So
there you go.
The way the company started is myself and one of my partners, Charlie, used to be screenwriters a million years ago. And so we combined our passions together for bourbon and movies to create Filmland Spirits. And what we do is we create an original script for every one of our products. And it's one that's meant to pay homage to the B movies of the mid-20th century, right? Robots and monsters, big over-the-top characters and plots.
Robot monster.
There you go.
Classic.
And then we will create a poster, an original poster for the movie, and that becomes the label. Right. And it includes the characters and their bios and the synopsis of the movie and all of that. There's even a QR code on the label where if you scan it, it takes you to our website. You can watch a trailer for the movie, interact with storyboards, read script pages, download the movie poster. And then, of course, the other side of the label is about what's really important, which is the liquid. So it's all about the award-winning liquid that's in the bottle. It tells you who we are, some tasting notes, and then all kinds of transparency, the mash bill, where it's distilled, where it's bottled, the char of the barrel, as much as we can possibly put, we put there.
I noticed. So you're just reading the label. In fact, you have a lot of fun little, I just was noticing you have a lot of fun little tiny movie references that talk about the whiskey. I mean, first off, oh, by the way, I know this cask strength, but I had a friend of mine who I was telling him about this, and he says it should be called cast strength.
There you go. We've
idea free.
It's actually
free idea.
If you look down at the bottom of the label, we label it as full moon proof.
Ah, very good. And plus, I notice it's produced on location in Kentucky, which is funny. And then even you have I don't know if you could see that, but it kind of the movie. The movie rating. That's kind of funny. That's great. See, I don't know about the rest of you. I picked it up, but I'm an old movie guy. I loved the whole movie. I've been a film buff since I was a little kid, and especially B movies and old bad films. I don't know if you could reach out to the estate. I don't know if he has an estate of Ed Wood and just do some Plan 9 stuff.
Right.
Or Glenn or Glenda.
We made a conscious decision when we started to not license existing B movies. We felt like, we're very genuine people, and we felt like if we were licensing other people's movies, then it's not as genuine, right? And we already knew people were going to see our labels and go, is this for real? Is this serious? Are these guys about the whiskey or what? And we are very much about the whiskey. That's who we are. So we wanted to say, if this is going to be genuine and represent genuine whiskey, and then we want the stories to be genuine and come from us and be original, the artwork, the stories, the characters, all of it.
Well, and you were screenwriters.
Used to be a long time ago. Yeah.
Well, but so that makes sense. So then you're basically kind of still are, you're still using that creativity. But so, all right, you go from the movie biz and you go into the whiskey biz. Now, how'd you learn to blend? Where'd you pick that up?
Got it. And so it wasn't like a direct A to B from the movie business to the whiskey business. There were, it was more like A to W, maybe. Right. A lot of different stops and steps. And I did a lot of other jobs in the movie business when I was in the entertainment industry, before I went on to become a serial entrepreneur. And I've started and sold or merged 5 different companies in different industries. But along the way, Charlie used to live in LA, and then he moved to Atlanta, and somehow kind of separately and together, we really started getting into bourbon like 15 plus years ago. And so one day we decided to meet in the motherland, as we refer to Kentucky. And we started having these pilgrimages where we would go to Kentucky a few times a year and just go around to distilleries like crazy people, like 5 or 6 in a day, which back then you could do because you didn't need reservations. There were no lines, and you could just show up and end up hanging out with the master distiller or the master blender. And they're pulling their like secret batch from under the sink of like, you got to try this. And those experiences taught us a lot. Like, we fell in love with all of it, right? The whiskey, of course, but the people and the culture and the science and the art. And then we just became students of it. I mean, we would drive around and we'd see a sign for a distillery that we'd never heard of, and we'd pull off the road and we'd go down this gravel path, and it's this little shack, and we'd start talking to the master distiller and volunteer to work. And next thing you know, we're blending and working with them. And it sort of evolved from there to the point where we started experimenting on our own. And then once we decided to get into the business and we started tasting barrels from all over the country and acquiring them, then we really started the process of, scientifically learning how to blend and doing it. And I know it sounds very casual and informal, but, I think a lot of people learn that way. The good news is every single product that we have blended and put in a bottle and put on the market has won gold or double gold at the most prestigious blind tasting competitions in the world. So San Francisco World Spirits Competition, Barleycorn Awards, TAG Global Spirits Awards.
I'm a judge out there. In fact, I'm heading out this weekend for the judging.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, if you have anything,
we
I
do.
will accept cash. Okay.
I won't tell you what it is, but we do.
So all right. Now, do you work with a particular distillery, or do you go to reach out to various distilleries for different styles of whiskey?
Yeah. So very much along the lines of what you said, we have a lot of movie references and the way we do things. We always had this concept like, hey, when you go to shoot a movie, you pick the best location for all the different reasons, right? The way it looks, it fits the script, the budget, right? Travel, logistics. We pick the liquid the same way, right? And so we don't have a limit, really. We have tasted and used liquid from all over the country, from Kentucky to California, to Indiana. And Tennessee. We've used liquid from many different states. And kind of to go back to one of your earlier questions, we always sort of say that the story is the liquid and the liquid is the story. And so sometimes we come up with a story idea and we go seeking a liquid that matches that, right? And sometimes it's the opposite. We find this amazing liquid and we go, all right, now we got to write a story for this. And it happens, both directions.
And how many expressions do you guys have?
In the history of the company, we've had 7. We have 6 that are currently available.
That's crazy. That's so fun. Now, this one, obviously, a little Wolfman inspired. I don't know if you cats can see that here or there. See the little wolf guy, who is, by the way, played by Slate Saxon.
Right.
Was he played by Slate Saxon?
No, that's the character's
That's
name.
the character's name.
Yeah.
We have actor unknown, so we don't know.
Doesn't exist.
Well, he's supposed to be somewhere in the ether. He's kind of
right.
He's kind of like Indiana Jones. He kind of exists,
right?
He's out there. But now, are they always horror film inspired, or do you do some good old? What were those called? They used to have all those really horrible low rent movies, the jailbait kind of ones. You know what I'm talking about? Wood, I think, used to write for some of those.
Right. I mean, we're we somewhat in the Roger Corman vein, right?
Yeah.
But I like to think of us as a little more elevated, maybe some more like Sam Raimi, Evil Dead, kind of B movie.
Yeah, there you go.
I loved Evil Dead as a kid, loved those movies. And people were like, these are terrible. I'm like, you don't get it. You don't get it. You
Isn't
gotta,
white people dead?
yeah. When I was in high school, my friends and I all loved it. And other people were like, what are you watching? Because we would just watch it over and over because it was just so hysterical.
Well, here, this may impress you, Troy. I was actually an extra in Army of Darkness.
Oh, really? Wow.
I was, among other things, I worked, went out and visited a buddy of mine who was already an extra, and you can actually see him play a peasant, a guard who gets killed by one of the witches, and then he plays the third part. Oh, and he was also part of the Army of Darkness. So he brought me out there for a week, and they put you in different things. But
Yeah.
one of the things I played was a skeleton,
Mhm.
third class. So they had the puppet. The puppet skeletons were first. Then they had really skinny people in these little more fancy skeleton outfits, and then they had guys like me wearing these black outfits with skeletons painted on them and rubber
Right.
skeleton masks, marching behind horses who peed a lot out
Oh my
out in
God.
the desert. But yeah, I got to meet Sam Raimi. It was kind of fun. And
That's awesome.
as far and also what's his bug? Who's
Bruce
the
Campbell.
Bruce Campbell? He
Yeah.
wasn't as friendly as Sam Raimi. Sorry, Bruce, you weren't. You kind of shrugged us off. I was just a skeleton third class.
So to answer your question,
Yes.
we have all kinds of different stories. So we have Moonlight Mayhem, which is a saga of werewolves and bourbon, and it comes in a 94 proof, which is our double gold medal winner. And what you have in your hand is Moonlight Mayhem extended cut. So extended cut is our trademark term for cast strength, right? Just like a movie gets the extended cut treatment, has more scenes, our cast strength, our extended cut has more proof. And so that is the Moonlight Mayhem extended cut gold medal winner, recipient of very high scores from some very prestigious magazines and reviewers, like 93 in Whiskey Advocate. In that edition, there were 150 bourbons rated. It tied for the best. And then Peggy No Stevens in American Whiskey Magazine gave that a 9.1.
Wow.
So it gets very high, right? For her, that's a very high score. So it gets very well reviewed, but it is one of the most popular ones we have. So those two are the Wolfman werewolf story, right? And if you're interested, I can get into the details of the story. We also have yeah. Okay. Well, Moonlight Mayhem takes place in a world where the dominant species on the planet are werewolves, and all the humans have been pushed off into their own separate neighborhoods. Our hero is Tommy, who's right there on the cover in the leather jacket. And Tommy works as a busboy at the dive bar on Hollywood Boulevard where all the werewolves hang out, called The Den. And Tommy goes into work one day and he sees this beautiful woman at the bar, Sylvain. She's also right there on the label.
Yeah.
And their eyes meet, and it's love at first sight. They're instantly in love, except she turns out to be the sister of the leader of the pack of werewolves. And now she has to decide whether she wants to marry Tommy or have him for lunch.
Well, so she's a werewolf as well?
She's a werewolf. If you notice right there on the cover, she's mid-transformation. Her hand has already started to turn.
Oh, subtle. And she's kind of looking at it and screaming, or
she's kind of looking at him and she's thinking to herself, I love this guy, but boy, am I hungry.
You've seen The Howling, right?
I don't think so. I don't think.
Ever seen The Howling? Oh,
I love B movies. I'm not like a huge horror movie guy, honestly. I love B movies and the silliness and the fun, but I'm not going to go. I think Freddy Krueger just damaged me when I was a child. So.
Well, The Howling was who was the director? Not Jonathan Demme. Joe Dante, who was Roger Corman. He was a protege of Roger Corman's. And anyways, The Howling came out right around the time of American Werewolf in London. It's definitely a B film, and it has a lot of subtle humor in it. And it has female werewolves, and they're the cutest little things in the world until they attack you. But they're so much cuter than they make them much cuter than the guy werewolves.
Right.
That's funny. So now you say that if you go to the barcode, is this barcode?
The QR code, yeah.
You can go to that. You can go to that and get the a film.
You get a trailer. So our trailers are anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute and a half. And they're a promotion for the movie and a promotion for the product, usually all together. But they tell the story and quickly, like a trailer does, and then introduces you to the product as well. Moonlight Mayhem also comes in another limited edition called Moonlight Mayhem 2, The White Port Wolf. And that is our first sequel and our first finished bourbon. So that, here I have a bottle of that. I'll hold up and show you right here. But there we go. So that's Moonlight Mayhem 2, The White Port Wolf. And you can see there's Tommy and Sylvain. So at the end of Moonlight Mayhem, Tommy and Sylvain are fleeing Hollywood, right? They're running from Slate, her brother, and the pack. And so they head north and they end up at this disused vineyard in Napa Valley. And that is where they encounter the mythical, legendary, fearsome White Port Wolf. And it becomes this story of, will they team up with her against Slate and the pack? Or will they team up with Slate and the pack against her? And the story goes from there.
It's like Twilight, but with an ABV.
Right.
They're like, wow, this is something.
Yeah.
That's very funny. Now, is this, would it be possible? And I'm sorry if I'm focusing, I'm really intrigued with the whole film connection. But it would be fun, maybe a little expensive, but fun to create a little mini movie series that maybe you can put on YouTube or just on your own website that people can follow. And every time you have a new release, somehow it's connected. You could even have kind of a Tarantino kind of interwoven world. So even if you do a non-werewolf related whiskey, it's within that world where they might mention, yeah, at least there's no werewolves around here, kind of thing.
Well, so we have a lot of other stories. Like our rye is called Rise of the Robots, Serve the Drink, Save the World, which is that's a sci-fi futuristic story. We have a limited release called Quadriforce, which is a parallel universe 1944 World War II superhero story, right? You can kind of see it over my shoulder up there. And then we have our first limited edition, which we introduced at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival in 2023, which we think is where you and I probably met. That sold out right away, but that was a time travel bourbon heist story. And so, we are all over the place. And I'll tell you to what you're discussing, what we don't talk about very often is that there are Easter eggs on all of the labels. So we hide all kinds of stuff on all of the labels, and very much, probably not on the one you have, but on newer labels, we tend to put characters from one story on the labels of other, even if they don't belong there.
Nice.
So if you look at Quadriforce, has characters from Moonlight Mayhem and Rise of the Robots and Our Town at the End of Tomorrow, which was our limited release that sold out.
So now I'm looking at the label, and it says a cask strength production, Moonlight Mayhem, award-winning bourbon, and then you give top billing to the actual mash billing. I guess that's what it is, huh? Does it say mash billing?
Yeah. The mash bill, yeah, it should say starring a mash of or something like that.
Or mash billing. Come on, mash billing.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm giving you that. Troy, that's free.
Thank you, Marty. I appreciate it.
Yeah. But this is 75% corn, 20% rye, 21% rye, 4% and 4% malted barley. I like the 4% malted barley is like that special appearance.
Right.
And featuring and starring. But now you have other people listed on here. You have you and Charlie. But then you have produced by Kristen Kilpack, Pack, and
Kilpack,
Steve Canepa.
Yeah.
And executive produced by Chuck Morton. Who are those people? I've
never met any of them. I made them all. No, those are my partners. So Charlie Flint he and I have known each other for over 30 years, very close friends, and we've done a lot of different jobs and businesses together, including writing screenplays. And Charlie, so he's my creative partner as well as handles a lot of operations for us and parts of the marketing. Kristen Kilpack is our head of sales. Steve Canepa is our everything. Steve is everything from our lead investor, CFO, treasurer, but he doesn't care about any of that because the most important thing I know that matters to him is he is one of the 3 members of our award-winning blending team. So that's myself, Charlie, and Steve do all of our blending. And then Chuck is a member of our board, an investor, and just, king of bourbon.
Wow.
If you're in Kentucky and you're in bourbon, you know Chuck.
It's just so funny. This is so much. You guys put so much into this. Just the labels, and I'm assuming with every expression you put out, you're going to do all this.
Yes.
All the storytelling, all this. Then even with the little previews, it's like that's a lot of work unto itself. And then you have to go blend the whiskey.
Right. And if you think about it in terms of time and effort and expense, the majority of it is about the whiskey, right? Acquiring it from all over the country, moving those barrels, doing the blending, heading to Kentucky and doing the blending and all of that. That's where most of our resources and our time goes. And that should, because that's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. But then, of course, we are crazy about detail in both the whiskey and the label and the creativity. And so there's a tremendous amount of work and detail that goes into every package and every label.
And what's your distribution? What are you available in most states, or?
We're in one form or another, we're in 19 states right now, realistically about 15 where we're on shelves and, back bars pretty substantially. We do have a retail partner who runs the store on our website, and I think they're shipping to over 40 states right now.
Are you available in Illinois, in Chicago?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we're in most, if not all, of the Binny's locations.
Another idea for you. In fact, I bet this is true. It must be true in California, but I know here in Chicago, you have at least 2 movie theaters that have liquor licenses. Mm-hmm. And so you do a little movie, I guess, I don't know if you really want to do like a B movie, a little marathon or a little film festival, but then you could feature the whiskey with it, or you take your little previews and you just, have a nice little show with it.
In the category of great minds think alike, we have done those things. So we are in some smaller markets because most markets have large national chain theaters, and we've had conversations with them, but they want us to be in more markets before they'll take us in. Like they want us to be in every market they're in, and we're nowhere close to that right now. But for independent theaters, which there aren't many left, there are theaters that also have bars. There are theaters that have restaurants. And we've done those. And then we've done film festivals, like smaller film festivals, where we have shown our trailers either on a separate screen or playing before some of the movies as well.
There's a great one here in Chicago. If you come through Logan, mm-hmm. Logan Theater, very cool, great little place, has a great little cafe bar, but mm-hmm. It's very independent.
Okay.
And that's what I was thinking. That's kind of, plus the Gene Siskel Theater right down on State Street.
Okay.
Another independent. See, and Gene Siskel, baby, the whole movie.
Right.
Always thinking. So what's next? Do you have another one in the wings?
Yeah, always.
It's going to premiere?
Yeah. I'm not technically supposed to talk about it, but I guess I don't care. We have a product coming in about 2 to 3 weeks. Should be on shelf by June 1st. Unfortunately, it is a Kentucky exclusive. So you can only get it in stores in Kentucky. You can't get it on our website. You can't get it online. Can't get it outside of Kentucky, at least for the time being. But it's going to, we have no plans to take it wider right now. It's sort of we like to do things for Kentucky. Kentucky was our first state. It's where we fell in love with bourbon. It's where we bottle and do most of our work. And so we like to say thank you to all the fans and customers in Kentucky and the industry that's been so supportive of us, and do kind of special things for Kentucky. So this is our first limited release, only available in Kentucky, called the Crimson Cask.
That sounds very Edgar Allan Poe-ish. Very
It's
Vincent Price.
right. It is a little bit. It's a film noir story. So the Crimson Cask is a story of Scarlet Cross, who is a distillery debutante growing up in the shadow of her father, Silas Cross, who's a very overbearing bourbon baron. And she misbehaves and he sends her off to finishing school somewhere. And she comes back based on an urgent telegram. And she goes to one of his rick houses and finds he's crushed beneath a barrel. And her name is written in blood on the staves of the barrel. And at that moment, Cutter Boone, her former love interest, walks in and discovers her there. And now she's got to rely on him to clear her name. And the tagline for it is, she may not be guilty, but she sure as hell ain't innocent.
Wow. Nice. Actually, too, when you first said she went off to finishing school, I thought, then she'll come back. The bourbon's finished off in a port cask or something.
Yeah, I know. The Moonlight Mayhem 2 I mentioned earlier is our first finished product. So we took our Moonlight Mayhem that won a double gold, the 94 proof. We aged it for 7 years and then age stated it and then finished it in white port wine casks from Napa Valley. And that actually won a double gold at TAG last fall and is about to get an incredibly high score from a very prestigious magazine that I'm not allowed to say for another 7 days.
Well, there's so much secrecy.
There is. I'm not. If it was up to me, I would tell everybody everything.
Yeah. I mean, marketing, got to get the word out. However, if this new one, the Crimson Cross, that's only a cask. Sorry. That's only available in Kentucky. It's kind of just in time because come September, you're going to have a slew of people going down there for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you'll be featuring it there.
I don't think we will be at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival this year. The year we did it, we loved it. It was our first time there. It's our only time there. And then they kind of changed the rules, the state and they keep changing the rules. And so they created a situation where since we don't have a Kentucky DSP, we're not allowed to even touch our bottles. Forget about pouring. We can't even touch our own bottles while we're standing there. So we had to be sort of off in a separate tent under a retail banner with a table.
Oh, yeah,
right. If we were located in Kentucky, I would do it. But
you didn't like that though? I mean, that tent was when I went last year, that tent was quite popular.
Mm-hmm.
I know my friend Dave Schmier with formerly of Redemption. But I thought, I don't know if he liked it either. I think he did kind of like when he had his own tent back in the day, but it seemed really popular, and you can sell at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, right?
Yeah, if you're in that tent, my understanding is whoever the retailer is who's running that tent can sell your bottles. If you're a DSP and you have a separate tent, you can sell your bottles directly.
Would you be able?
I was just going to say, it's just for us to come from all over the country, particularly California. It's a significant expense.
Yeah.
And so to not have our own dedicated booth, we just decided maybe that wasn't the best use of our marketing dollars at that moment.
Yeah, I went online because I was planning on going, but now I can't because my niece is getting married that weekend. But man alive, hotel rooms and Airbnbs are through the roof now.
Yeah.
So I drive down there, so I can't imagine because I guess you can get an indirect flight from California.
No more direct flights since Spirit went away. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was the only direct flight from LA. Yeah, I mean, even 2-3 years ago when we were there, we got an Airbnb 35 minutes from Bardstown. And basically that for 5 days, that cost us like the same amount as we spend on social media in a month and a half.
Whoa.
Just for the Airbnb. Forget about, per diem and then the fees for the show and then the expense and the decorations. And it was amazing. I loved it. And I would do it again in a second if we had our own tent.
Now, and I understand, that in fact, that's something that, you hear quite a bit about now, especially for small brands. I mean, just the cost of marketing, and for you to visit, it used to be you own a small brand, you go into a market. Man, I used to tell folks, hey, go in once every 3 months and go in for like 3 days, do some work with, go visit, target accounts like the best whiskey bars and cocktail bars and obviously retailers.
Yep.
But even now, that's just so it's almost a little prohibitive, cost prohibitive.
Yeah. That I do. I'm in Kentucky 6 to 8 times a year at least.
Oh, wow.
And I try and, double and triple up the reasons for being there. So I'll host tastings and bottle signings at Liquor Barn or Blind Pig or Justin's, House of Bourbon, and places like that. We'll do blending. We'll go to our bottling facility and do blending and different work we have to do. I'll do meetings while I'm there, and then I'll do work with our distributor reps and go around to stores and bars.
Are you in Wisconsin?
We are not.
I should get into Wisconsin. Fun event coming up at the end of this month is Distill America.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of fun and very well attended. That's a good one.
We're
if you want a list, you're in Michigan.
Yeah.
What's going on in Michigan? Trying to think of a good event up in Michigan. Yeah, if you ever want a list, I can send you a list of a lot of the premium ones that I always attend. I only go to the creme de la creme.
I understand.
Whiskey events, yeah. And the affordable ones too. I mean, I've always been a big. I always find it kind of sad in a way, or disappointed, I guess. I don't know, sad. That events charge brands, especially small brands, so much.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't do anyone good. You're not going to get a lot of brands if you charge too much,
right.
And you're not helping these little brands. You're better off, making it cost effective for everybody.
There are a lot of events that are driven by the distributors where they will have events and the attendees are retailers and buyers. And they charge a tremendous amount of money for small brands or any brands to participate in those. I'd love to be in more of those, but they are very expensive to do.
You could do the Chicago Indie Spirit Expo in September.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done that?
No, haven't.
Schmear produces that, and I used to co-produce it. I'm the one who got him to bring it to Chicago, and it became his biggest event. Yeah, but then I left because, look, I have so much on my plate. So much. But that's mostly trade that go to that. So that's a good one for you. So when you guys are, since there's a crew of you, is there a captain? Are you the captain, Troy, of this boat? You are.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
I'm the founder and the CEO and the master blender.
All right. So it's kind of up to you to then say, you know what? It's time for a different expression. And actually, do you time it out? I mean, you said you have 7, or you had 7. You have 6 currently. Mm-hmm. So you time it out, like you just go, you know what? It's time. Every 2 years, something like
that? No. So we have 4 core products: Moonlight Mayhem Extended Cut, Rise of the Robots, and Rise of the Robots Extended Cut. Those are our 4 core, always available. Right? There's behind me, there's the poster for Rise of the Robots.
Those are great. Do you sell those?
We do. They're on our website.
Oh, very cool.
When I do events, I give away 12 by 18 cardstock versions of them. But
lobby card versions?
What's that?
Like the old lobby cards? Remember those?
Yeah.
Lobby
similar.
Cards?
Yes. Yeah. So I give those away. The big ones are just too unwieldy for me to carry all over the country, but we do sell those on the website. It's very affordable. We sell 5 or 6 of them in a tube, and for I think they end up being less than $4 each or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And they all ship together. Yeah. And then we have limited releases, right? So our first limited release was called Town at the End of Tomorrow, a Kentucky straight 9-year-old bourbon that we put out at the festival 3 years ago. We were only in a couple of states then, so we only put out 600 bottles and it sold out right away. So we try and do 1 or 2 limited releases every year. So a limited release from last year was Quadriforce. That was a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys that were distilled in 4 different states. That's the poster of the superheroes over my shoulder there. And then that won a gold medal at San Francisco, and in Wine Enthusiast, they gave it a score of 95. And then last year in the spring, we put out, or in the summer really, we put out the Moonlight Mayhem White Port Wolf that I told you about, which won a double gold at TAG and is about to get an incredible score at another magazine that I may have just mentioned, but probably shouldn't. And so those are all our current releases right now. Quadriforce is almost gone. I mean, if you can find it in the store, we have a few left on our website, and there's probably a few on shelves, but it's pretty much almost gone. And White Port will be done probably before the holidays. But we have the Crimson Cask coming Kentucky only, and then we have something else coming in the fall.
So who do you find are your biggest customers? Are you attracting a lot of film buffs because of this, or that it's strictly folks who find that a great little
it's both. Look, somebody who's a film buff who doesn't necessarily drink bourbon, sure, we're attracting some of that, but we're attracting bourbon drinkers who are into great bourbon first and foremost, and then we're attracting bourbon and rye drinkers who see our label and go, oh my gosh, I love that, what is this, right? And go from there. So we have an extremely dedicated, loyal, fast growing following online. So like we've been now on the market 3.5 years, and there are brands that have been on the market 10 years that don't have as many followers as we do. And we don't, we spend, but we don't spend that much relative to, a giant brand on social media, but it grows very, very fast.
Now, everything is bourbon or
no, we have bourbon and rye.
So would you ever expand into a Scotch or a Canadian?
Yeah, I know. We never say never. We named the company Filmland Spirits and not Filmland Bourbon or Filmland Whiskey on purpose, so that we had, room to grow if we want to.
Well, that's right. It doesn't necessarily have to be a whiskey.
Right. We're sticking with whiskey for now, and we have things aging and finishing in barrels that will not be called bourbon or rye because they legally can't be, but they will be called whiskey in the future. So yeah, I don't know that we'll do a Scotch per se, but the American version of that, perhaps.
See, that's interesting. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And, I will say this too, you guys, when you're at the festival, these bottles really pop when they're on the table, especially at a bourbon festival. Bourbon, a lot like Scotch, even though you're seeing some of it change. They're kind of, I don't want to say stuffy. They're not stuffy, but they're kind of standard.
So this was the inspiration for the brand is, as a bourbon nerd, and I spent a lot of time in the bourbon aisle, right? And I'm looking around and I have a huge personal collection myself, and I'm looking at all these bottles and I'm going, why are all the bourbon labels brown and beige and black and have pictures of dogs or birds or old men on the label? Yeah, why can't bourbon be fun, right? Have colorful, bright, crazy, immersive packaging like craft beer, wine, tequila, even some vodkas, right? And still have ultra premium award-winning liquid in the bottle. And that's where this started, right? Even before we knew we were going to do Filmland or B movies or any of that, that was the premise. It's like, all right, we're going to have crazy, outrageous, immersive, beautiful, bright, eye-catching packaging. That was where this was born.
Well, and who designs all your packaging? I mean, everything. Even I just noticed that even your stopper looks like a film reel.
Yeah, the stopper is kind of a combination of a film reel and a film can, depending on which angle you look at it. If you look at the bottom of the bottle, that's meant to evoke cells of film, like the original kinescope of the horse running in a circle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have a lot of little film elements like that. The way we do our labels is typically what I'll do is I'll mock up like 20 to 30 versions of a label when I get an idea. And I'll use found elements. Now I can generate, using AI, I can say, hey, give me something that looks like this. And I slap it all together in Photoshop and Illustrator. And then I bring all those versions to my team. I'm actually, before I got on here, I was working on something I'm going to bring to the team tomorrow. And then I have get everybody's input and feedback, and we rip them apart. And then I narrow it down to 4 or 5 versions and keep going until we get to one where we all agree, right, this is it. This is the one. Then we will bring in an artist to recreate it from scratch.
That is amazing. I mean, that has to put, that's just so much extra trouble, you know?
Yes, I know.
I mean, but that's great. And I this is the kind of stuff I think people really do appreciate, especially whiskey nerds. When they find this kind of stuff out, it's the kind of stuff they want to tell their buddies.
Yep.
So, oh, yeah, look here. See, it's produced on location.
And we do it. We have a whole single barrel store pick program, and we work directly with a lot of whiskey clubs in a lot of different states where they'll do barrel picks, and then we'll do a custom trophy sticker on the label for them.
Yeah, it's fun. That's it's fun. Have you guys won any packaging awards?
Yes.
Yeah.
At San Francisco, we won gold medal for portfolio, and each of the individual products, our first 3 products, because at the time we only had 3, each won a gold medal for packaging. And at the American Craft Spirits Awards a few years ago, we won best packaging, gold medal.
Do you only do 750s? Because this make a really cool little gift set.
Yeah.
Like maybe 200 mLs or even 50 mLs.
Yeah. Right now it's only 750s. It's not that we haven't had a lot of conversations about it, but obviously an entire another packaging format is a significant investment. And there's got to be enough demand for it. In addition, we have to reconfigure our labels completely, because as they are right now, they don't, all of that writing doesn't play on a little 50 milliliter or even a 375. It gets kind of small.
Well, yeah, but you get a box, you get a gift box, and you have a flip, and underneath the cover is all. There's ways around it, Troy.
We have 3D renderings and designs of all kinds of those options, but it hasn't made sense yet to pull the trigger on them.
Hey, and also with your guys' connections over there in Hollywood, have you got any placements? In movies or TV?
Nothing big. People call us all the time and they want us to pay for placement.
Jesus Christ.
Right. And in small movies, and that's not what we do. So we haven't. There are people who ask permission to just use our bottles in their independent films. And we said, yeah, sure, go ahead. So there's been a couple.
Remember when the Rock he had some TV show where he was like a sports agent or something?
Oh, yeah, on HBO. I didn't watch it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Baller? Is that it?
Baller, that's it.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a scene where he's drinking out of a Glencairn glass. Thought, thank you. Also, too, the movie The Killer, Netflix. There's a whole scene, Tilda Swinton and
Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender. They're both drinking Glencairn glasses, left and right. Oh my God! And people wonder why we never pay for advertising. See, sweet. So there's a chance. Now, anyone out there in Hollywood, I have some old friends in Hollywood. Hello, just put it in your movie, for Christ's sakes. What's the matter with you? I mean, because it's perfect. It's so much fun. These are great. And so where can people go to find out more? Is it just
it's filmlandspirits.com.
Yeah.
And then all of our socials are at Filmland Spirits. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, you can get us there. You can go to our website and sign up for our email list and our SMS list to stay informed and get discounts and that kind of thing. And then we have another feature on our website. It's called The Filmologist. And The Filmologist is a customer service AI chatbot with a terrible attitude. We call him AI. Our tagline for him is AI or a-hole. And the Filmologist is a robotic AI driven bartender. So it gives you cocktail recipes. And when it gives you a cocktail recipe, it's going to be like gastronomically correct, scientifically taste well. It'll explain why the different flavors go together and the whiskey and all that. And it'll give it a fun story driven name. It'll give you discount coupons. It'll sign you up for email and SMS. It'll give you even bigger discounts. Knows everything about our products. Knows everything about the stories, the artwork. But you just can't be easily offended because he's very nasty. He's got a really bad potty mouth, and he will insult you in order for you to earn that discount.
Nice. No, I think most people are actually secretly looking for that anyways. So that's
Yes.
looking for to be put down. Well, that's wonderful, man. This is so much fun, and that's kind of nice too. It's bringing fun back into drinking. To me, I hate when people get all serious about drinking. It's I don't think that's. You go back 100 years, guys didn't go into the saloon to get all kind of serious about it.
Right.
They either to drown their sorrows or to have a good time.
Right. And even if you look at our mission statement, which is right there at the top on the label, it's just about bringing people together through great tasting spirits and captivating stories, right? Because that's what we do when we drink socially. Everybody gets together, you laugh, you have a good time, you're swapping stories, whether they're fictional or non-fictional, about your life, and those are the best times, and that's what we always wanted this to be.
Stories you can drink. That's great. That's so much fun. Well, that's wonderful, Troy. I mean, thanks a lot. This has been great. This is much better than just trying to get some of the story at a crowded whiskey festival.
Yeah.
This is so much more informative. Well, good luck with this, man. I mean, it sounds like you already have pretty good luck. If you're already in your 19 states.
19 states, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And probably growing.
Yeah, we could always use more luck. I'll take whatever luck you got.
Well, yeah, but you still also have a small crew, and you're already saying, if you're going into Kentucky, how many times? 6 times a year?
I'm personally there 6 to 8 times a year at least.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of spread a little thin. I mean, there's only so much Troy to go around.
I travel about half the time.
So this is a full-time gig for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is it. I mean, this is and then what about the rest of your crew? Are they all full-time?
Kristen is full-time. Everybody else has other things going on. And Steve is technically retired, but any work time he spends is with Filmland, and he travels with me a lot, constantly blending and doing things like that. And Steve's also one of my trusted advisors because he's got 40 years of big business experience and finance experience.
Wow. Well, that's great. And, more power to you, especially too. It's kind of funny though. I still think it's interesting. Hey, here, I should ask, when you were working in Hollywood, and you don't work in Hollywood anymore.
No, it's been a very long time.
All right. So when you did work in Hollywood, did you write for anything people would know?
I hope not. I wrote a couple of movies that got made. They are B movies. The problem is they weren't intended to be B movies.
Oh,
but no, it's funny to go back and look at them. I was a 22-year-old kid and got into a cool situation and got to co-write a couple of action, like almost B movie action movie sequels.
I had a buddy of mine who was we went to college together, and he went on and did some screenwriting. He was buddies with John Cusack and some of the others, and he wrote this one movie. He and I used to joke about really crappy action films. You go see some, and we walk out of it saying, we should just kick each other in the ass next time we think about doing this again, because that was such a dumb movie. And then he wrote a spy film that he handed off to he submitted, and they bought it, but then they rewrote it. They gave it to another writer who rewrote it and dumbed it down, and I think it became one of Tom Cruise's few bombs.
Oh, really?
And I kind of stuck to this guy. It's like, that's
the thing that most people don't realize, and I don't know if it's still this way, but back when I was doing it, is you can make a halfway decent living as a writer, never having anything made.
Yeah, because you can do what's it called, specs?
Yeah, well, spec is where you don't get paid. usually.
Oh, okay. No, right.
Right. But no, you can get paid to write treatments. You could get paid to write a screenplay that doesn't get made. You can, all the time we would get my different writing partners, different business partners at the time. We would get, somebody would come to us and say, "Oh, I know you guys did this. Can you, so-and-so studio is looking for a project like this. Can you write me a 10-page treatment?" Right. And so we would write treatments and things like that and get paid to do that, or come up with show concepts for people and get paid for it. People would buy it, or there's something called optioning, where when you do write something on spec, if somebody wants the ability to go raise money and produce it, they will option it from you. So they pay you a fee, a percentage against a future larger fee, and they have a year or something to go try and get it made. And if they do, then you get paid. And if not, you get the rights back and can go option it again or do what you want with it. So there's all kinds of ways to make money, even if you can't get produced.
Yeah. A buddy of mine did a treatment with Richard Lewis, the comedian, for FX or something. They just pitched a 22-minute sitcom, and the studio said, "Yeah, go ahead, write up a treatment." And they got like $100,000 that they got to split, but unfortunately, both of them had managers and agents and all this other. So everybody took such big bites out of it. But still, I'm thinking, if I can do that every week, if you can, obviously.
Yeah. Charlie and I, in the late 90s, when reality television became a thing, we had all these concepts for reality TV, and we got paid for them, but they never got made. We were always like this far behind from like massive success. So like we wrote a reality music competition show we came up with, and we pitched it. And we had this crazy pitch meeting, which was wonderful, with Ryan Seacrest at the time, who was, he was a little known DJ in LA. But he was represented by Dick Clark's manager, who said he's going to be the next big thing. And he was really interested in our show, and we were moving along. And the next thing you know, he said, "You know what, I'm going to be doing this other show." And that turned out to be American Idol. So, and that we had 3 different experiences like that. One, we wrote a dating show, and then they ended up choosing The Bachelor instead. Right. So it just kind of kept happening to us, but we got paid, a little bit anyway.
Well, now you're building a bourbon empire, a whiskey empire anyway. Spirit empire. Yes. Don't limit yourself. All right. Well, thanks, Troy. I've had you on. I think I've kept you way long over time.
No worries. But it's been fun.
Much success to Filmland Spirits. This is going to be great.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you for having me on.
I'm sorry, real quick. How long have you guys been at it?
Well, we launched in September of 2022 in Kentucky and California.
Okay.
I was working full-time on the brand for 2 years before that, and part-time, on the weekends for many, many years before that.
Well, folks, go to the website. If you go to the website and social media, can you watch the little trailers? Because I want to see.
Yeah, you can watch the trailers on YouTube.
Yeah.
We sometimes post them on our social media, but YouTube or the website is the best place to watch the trailers.
All right, cool. I'm going to go watch the trailers. I want to see these. All right. Thanks, Troy. Appreciate it. And much luck, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for spending time with us on I Drink, Therefore I Am. You can watch every episode of the podcast inside Hospitality Nexus, a global human-first platform bringing the hospitality ecosystem together in one place. Inside the Nexus, it's a career fair that never closes, connecting industry leaders, educators, students, employers, and partners through real presence. Create your free account and explore the community at www.hospitalitynexus.org. And until next time, sip thoughtfully, drink responsibly, Sláinte.